I've been watching a few movies lately, and I've realized one of the biggest scams we fall for are the movie montages. And here's what I mean. So, in those like superhero movies where you have like the main character, they're in a very bad position, but they have like a massive goal that they want to achieve. And in order to get there, they have to go through like all this intense training. And the movie shows this intense training as this like 30-second, like very hype montage with upbeat music, the main character in all these like positions, sweating, climbing, exerting themselves, really pushing hard. And after 30 seconds, the main character is a completely different position. They went from like a fat, chubby person to, a skinny, lean, jacked, like bodybuilder or something. And we see that in movies all the time. That sometimes it's even less than 30 seconds. But basically it's the idea that you have this very long transformation being compressed into a few seconds. And that is the big scam. Because even though I never explicitly thought this, but what I realized was I was subconsciously training my mind or becoming familiar with the concept that hard work doesn't take a lot of time. This 10-year journey of becoming jacked, rich, having healthy relationships, like great health, all of that can happen within, a very short amount of time. Maybe not literally 30 seconds, but maybe a year, maybe something short like that. And what I realized was that was one of the like biggest limiting beliefs that I had to like eradicate. I had to get rid of that thought because I've been feeling very unmotivated recently. And I think the reason is because I'm expecting success to come earlier than it should. I'm thinking that this 10-year journey can somehow be very short and I can achieve it within a few months. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to make any progress within like a short time span. That's possible. But if we're talking about a huge life transformation, that's not going to happen in a montage. That's going to happen after doing the exact same thing over and over again for maybe a decade. For example, when I was back in school and I really wanted to get high grades, that's all I did. For 4 years, I got like straight back home, studied until until night, so for like 4 to 6 hours a day, and I did that for 4 years, rinse and repeat. And that's how eventually I scored at the top of my entire country in Australia. It's just about doing ordinary things for an extraordinary amount of time. And that's what I've realized is something that movies don't communicate. Because obviously, like a movie can't just be a 10-hour clip of a guy training at the gym. Like that'll be boring. That's why they compress the hard work into a short amount of time because they know it's boring. People don't want the boring hard work. They want the reward, which is the rest of the movie, of the benefits of the main character once they've achieved this. And it sells people the hope that, hey, life is great after you achieve this. But what they don't tell you, or what they tell you in that very short montage, is yeah, by the way, this is going to take 10 years of work. So I realized that this is something I need to be okay with, that it is going to take time for me to become good at something. It took me 4 years to get high grades. It's taken me equally as long, if not much longer, to achieve some of the other goals I have in life. But always keep in mind the time frame you're operating in. Are you operating in terms of a movie montage time frame, or are you operating in terms of reality? And I hope you pick the last one. So, take care.